Welcome to our summer sketching series. Hey y'all, I'm Liz Clayton Fuller, artist and friend of the Lab of Ornithology, and today I'm going to teach you how to do a drawing of a great blue heron. So I'm starting this sketch the same way I start all of my drawings, which is beak first. I'm establishing the slightly downward sloping angle of this heron's chunky, long triangular beak, and then I'm building out from there. I like to say beak and then build. This is my method of drawing birds that I've developed over the years, and I hope you might like it too. I've drawn in the beak and I've built out the head from the back of the beak, and now I'm going to slowly, carefully go in and start drawing in the shapes of this heron's beautifully S-shaped neck. Herons' necks are a very recognizable part of their silhouette, so I want to go nice and slow with my pencil in the beginning and make sure I can adjust as I go along. It's helpful to look at your reference image and break your subject down into manageable shapes, like this rounded at the top, sloping down shape of the heron's body. I'm going to continue to lay in the various parts of this heron, so I'm drawing in where the legs begin and trying to capture the angle of them. You can see that the leg on the right side is more of a straight down line, while the leg on the left knocks in a bit inwards and then back out again. I'm adding in the angle of the branch as well, and I'm going to start back at the top now that I've got a general basic shape of my bird. You can of course erase your lines, but I'm not going to do any erasing here. What I like to do is emphasize the lines that I feel confident in and leave the sketchy lines in as a part of the process. As I'm going around and refining my lines, I'm drawing in groupings of plumage that I see that I want to make sure to add some detail to later. I'm going back up towards the beak, darkening my lines, and then adding in the shape of where the eye is going to be and how far the beak goes into the head. And then, of course, I'm going to add this little cap of plumage that herons have and the feathers that stick straight out of the back of their head that I love so much. And from here, I am going through another round of refinement, adding a bit more detail, adding in groupings of plumage. It's always helpful to start loosely and add in your details later on. Our feathers need some texture as well. So at the base of this heron's neck, there are some lovely, long, sloping, swooping feathers blowing in the breeze, and I'm adding them here. And now I'm going to work on the legs. So earlier I focused on the angle of the legs, and now I will finally give this heron some feet. I'll look at each toe individually and try to capture the angle of the toe sitting across the branch as well as the bends in the toe joints. If you study bird anatomy, you'll learn that birds have a certain number of bones in each of their toes, and it'll help you find the joints and improve your drawings. For now, you can closely examine our reference image and do your best to replicate these angles and bends. Next, I'm adding some strong lines where I see these structured feathers of the heron and a little bit of value to give it some three-dimensionality. So value is the scale from light to dark, so I want to add a little bit of darkness to my sketch so it looks more three-dimensional and so that the white areas really stand out. I'm adding the dark cap on top of the heron's head, and I'm drawing in the shape of their eye, adding a little pupil to it to make our heron come to life. I like to save the eye detail for close to the end of the drawing. To me, it feels like adding the cherry on top of the sundae. My last few details are adding in the line of the beak that separates the upper and lower mandible, giving the branch a bit more emphasis down by the feet, and touching up a few tail feathers with more detail. And that, folks, is a sketch of a great blue heron start to finish.